but
Yeah.
are you aware of the role vitamin D plays in the ACE2 and renin-angiotensin system?
I know there is a connection.
Obviously, it plays an important role in regulating blood pressure and fluid homeostasis, and I think even in the lungs too. But what's interesting about the vitamin D renin-angiotensin system, kind of it converges on the ACE2 receptor, which, as you know, and probably most of the world has heard by now, is how the SARS-CoV-2 virus enters into our cells. It binds that receptor. Well, what's been shown with SARS-CoV-1 is when the virus, which also binds to the same receptor to get inside of the cell, it binds to the receptor and it internalizes the receptor and downregulates ACE2, which is not good because that is really important for this renin-angiotensin regulation, as you know, Dr. Schwalb. So that's been shown with SARS-CoV-1. And what happens when the ACE2 gets downregulated, lung injury, acute lung injury, gets really bad. And so there's been some animal studies that have found, for example, if you high dose with the active form of vitamin D, the animals, and then you cause acute lung injury, ACE2 goes down, acute lung injury goes up in the placebo group, but the vitamin D group, it normalizes the ACE2 levels. So if you think about it, another potential, this is a hypothesis, of course, another potential way vitamin D could be playing an important role in this specific virus is through regulating ACE2 levels. And what's interesting is that there was just a very recent study that came out. ACE2, the gene, it's located on the X chromosome. And women have two X chromosomes most of the time. One of those X chromosomes, the gene's inactivated. But there are genes that escape that, and ACE2 is one of those. And so women have much higher levels of ACE2. And so researchers are thinking this is protecting them from a more severe COVID-19 outcome because they're getting that ACE2 levels higher in terms of, you'd think, oh, well, more ACE2, that means the virus is getting in. But actually, biology always tricks you. It always, you always think one thing, and then it's like this beautiful, sort of complex scenario. But I'm digressing, and I just kind of wanted to bounce that off you because you're such a scholar, and I thought you probably would find that interesting. And I certainly hope scientists are testing that hypothesis because it seems very relevant.
Yeah, it does. Not only that, the human body is so complex, as you say, that there's so many connections. The other aspect of angiotensin, or ACE2, I should say, is that it gets rid of pro-oxidative products, and it increases antioxidant products. So, for instance, angiotensin 2 and angiotensin 1,7, those are in balance, and ACE2 tries to keep those in balance. But when ACE2 is knocked out by either SARS-CoV-2 or SARS-1, the amount of oxidative stress goes up dramatically. And what we see that may play a role in terms of thrombosis. So you have oxidative stress in the ACE2 receptors in the endothelium of the vasculature. That causes inflammatory stress, oxidative stress, that causes thrombosis, and that's where that happens as well. So all of these things, it seems as though we've got the dots. Connecting them requires very good randomized controlled trials. But again, like you said, hypothesis-driving type of studies that may answer that question.